welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. I'm Allison Donnelly, and today is Monday, July 1st.
Rob Churnside here. Happy fiscal new year.
Yes, happy fiscal new year to you too. You're dressed so perfectly.
We're in the green now, right?
And your bow tie will maybe show up Mike Dixon's bow tie. I don't know. I don't want
Now, you know what? I got this bow tie trying to keep up with Fashion Plate and well-known historian Mike Dixon. We're thrilled to have him on the show tonight.
Yeah, he's one of our guests. He'll be talking about the old village of Conowingo. And then we've also got Dr. Alan McCarthy for this month's installment of Dialogue with Leadership. We have Mark Barczewski talking about the Cecil County Fair, which starts very soon, 3-ish weeks.
Yeah, it's the 19th.
And then we've got Terry Merriman, who's not playing music this time, but talking about his house parties.
There's the legendary Vinny from Vanilla Fudge, and he'll tell us the last name. It is actually going to come to his house, play a concert, and it's going to be a whole big deal. It's going to be great.
Awesome. And you recently returned from Canada.
Yes, I did. I was tracking the worms up there.
Right. Yes.
It's different up there. They use artificial worms, but they may be genetically engineered. So I've been told.
Okay. Okay. Well, I hope we find out more. You're bringing a esteemed fish expert biologist?
A fish biologist. I just talked with this gentleman today, and he's willing to give us the straight scoop on the worms and what the whole thing's all about.
That's awesome. Great. I look forward to it.
What a great show we have planned for tonight, huh?
Mm-hmm. And now for the news. The Maryland Department of Health is beginning its efforts to inform residents that starting October 1st, it will be illegal for anyone under age 18 to use any of the tanning equipment at tanning facilities. Salon operators will be required to verify the age of all customers and will be subject to civil penalties and fines. Maryland Department of Health Secretary Robert Neal says that the research clearly shows considerable health risks from indoor tanning. The younger people when they start, the worse the consequences can be. Without a doubt, the use of tanning devices increases the risk of skin cancer. Other new laws will also soon be taking effect. Beginning July 1st, schools in Maryland must conduct stricter background checks by contacting every employer a candidate has worked for, and the state also has rendered useless any agreements that would stop schools from reporting sex abuse investigations or related disciplinary action of an employee. Also, the state has raised the eligibility cap to receive a state tax credit for child care costs from $50,000 of annual income to $92,000 for single parents and $143,000 for married couples filing taxes jointly. It also indexes those limits to inflation. And Insurer Allstate's best driver list is out, but Baltimore drivers may be disappointed to see that they rank last among the 200 cities in the report. Against a national average of a damage claim every 10.57 years, Baltimore drivers average one claim every 4.2 years. Did you ever wonder about the safety of eating a fish caught in local waters? Then the Maryland Department of the Environment's Fish Consumption Advisory's web app is just what you need. The mapping site provides ample detail of recommended consumption limits on every local species for waters throughout the region, based on levels of PCBs and mercury. It even breaks down limits depending on whether you are male, female, or child. Spoiler alert, don't eat catfish ever. We'll be back after these messages. Good evening, and welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. We're back with Dr. Alan McCarthy for this month's installment of Dialogue with Leadership. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
And happy fiscal new year.
Well, thank you very much. Looking forward to a new year.
Yeah, I bet you are. The broadband expansion bill becomes law today, enabling communities lacking broadband infrastructure in Cecil County to petition the Cecil County government to create a special taxation district. Can you remind us how this will work?
Yeah, simply what it comes down to is this is an opportunity for county government to assist more rural jurisdictions to get broadband service to their house. Now, the way it works is in a group, it could be a group of 10 people in the same area, or essentially the same area. If 67% of them petition the county government, then the council can basically vote to extend the service. The way it would work is we would go to the cable provider. For example, company ABC provides the cable service to that neighborhood. They would tell the council what they're prepared to pay to put in the service, what they need to receive to do it from the clients. At that particular point in time, the council would make a decision, and if they elected to go through with it, then what they would do is they would decide on a period of time over which they would pay the county back for front funding the service, and they would pay this over a period of years. It could be anywhere from 3 to 20 years.
And what's the advantage of this system over the current?
The current
previous
system
law?
is the cable providers, the businesses, will not provide the internet service if they cannot get a return on their capital within a specified period of time according to whatever their business plan is. It might be 3 years, it might be 7. But if they cannot return their capital contributions in that period of time, they choose not to provide that service. Now, what the county is doing is putting the money up front to provide the service and back charging through taxes the people that are receiving the service.
What areas of the county, can you give us some examples just geographically, are likely to benefit?
Any essentially rural area where it doesn't currently exist, that can
Okay.
be done.
Okay.
I mean, there's many of them. I think we've identified well over 100 areas, which it could be, and more than likely they'll be taken down with the highest number of homes per linear mile. Now, these things are calculated by dollars per mile for the cost. So wherever they can get their biggest bang for the buck and the most people willing to participate, it'll be done. Now, one thing that you need to consider, if you bring broadband service to your house, it'll probably increase the value of your home because so many people nowadays work from their homes and can only do it if they have that service.
Right.
So this is a way that the county can truly, truly help rural residents accomplish something they wouldn't ordinarily be able to do.
Right, and not only that, but it seems like a great way to attract potential residents who might
certainly,
turn
yes.
down Cecil County as a place to move their families because
That's correct.
they won't be able to work remotely.
I mean, you have kids now work on the college papers, basically on the computer, and if you don't have the service, then you don't have the access.
Right. So it
I
sounds
think
like
it's a great system.
I think, and it was received overwhelmingly in the
Yes,
state
it was,
legislature. So, as you mentioned to me earlier, we don't really have a sense of how many people will take advantage of this service. So we'll have to keep tabs on it.
We don't. I have no idea. I mean, those numbers are available, but I don't have them with me. It's
Right.
a very extensive list.
Okay, well, we'll check
It's
back.
quite extensive, as a matter of fact.
Switching gears, the Cecil County Department of Emergency Services officially went live on the new Maryland First Responder System last week, and I know the county finalized their agreement with Motorola last October to purchase 1,300 new radios that allow the county to operate seamlessly with the statewide first responder
Okay.
system. So how's it going so far?
Well, it's been absolutely a roaring success. At this particular point in time, the only thing that we have is the handheld portable units, but they say the service with those is far superior to what we currently have in place right now. As we move forward with the installation of this, we'll put in mobile units into the automobiles of the police, of emergency services. We'll also put in base stations at the volunteer fire companies as well as the police dispatch areas. It's a rip-roaring success, and it interdigitates fully with the First Maryland system, whereas our old system, you had to do patching and all kinds of other sophisticated stuff to basically link Harford County to Cecil County or to another county. This is a seamless system where we can talk to each other all the time, continually. There will be other advantages to it too, is that it will have a GPS component. So basically, if you wanted to know where a particular fireman was at a particular point in time, you could locate him within a building.
Oh, that's great.
It is great. And they'll basically put bi-directional broadcasting antennas out on concrete masonry structures to basically increase the penetration of this system. Everybody's really excited about it. It's been an overwhelming success. It's expensive. The state's put up about $2.4 million, and the county has put up a little bit over, I guess, $10.7 million. But it's something that we really need, and it'll enhance our service to the citizens of Cecil County immensely.
Right. I know there had been some issues with dead spots around the
Yes.
county. So does this system address those?
We've addressed all of those, and there's no dead spots to their knowledge at all. And we've spent weeks testing it.
Excellent.
One of the dead spots was in Port Deposit, but apparently there's nothing there either.
Well, that is very exciting.
That is good.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I was very happy to get that legislation passed and the system purchased.
As you know, the 2020 presidential campaign is well underway. I'm not going to ask you about that, but I can't help but start thinking about the upcoming elections here in Cecil County. Are you aware of any primary challengers?
At this particular point in time, I'm the only one who's basically registered as a candidate for the county executive position in Cecil County. I know of no Democrats, nor do I know of any Republicans that have intentions of running.
And is it pretty early still, or do you think that there's
Well,
plenty of
it's still
opportunity for
very
someone
early. The
to-
primary election, I think, will take place the 25th of April. Don't hold me to the exact date, but I know it's towards the end of April, and the deadline for filing is the end of February.
Right. you've
So
got
many
plenty of
things
time.
could happen between now and then.
Right. Have you thought about your vision for your second term?
Yes, I have.
Well, I'm all ears.
All ears. The vision is essentially the same as I had before. Number one, we want to stay the course that we're currently on. It's worked well. Fiscal responsibility, having a balanced budget, pay for our expenses as we create those expenses. The other thing I'd like to do is continue our economic development. We've done very, very well. We've brought in many new businesses. Hopefully we'll increase the tax revenue, and that's already started to happen. With that money, we can continue to develop more businesses, better businesses, hopefully create more jobs, better jobs for the residents of Cecil County. This will broaden and diversify our tax base. It'll lead to greater opportunities. After we do that, I'll continue to develop the infrastructure, which we started this past year. We'll try to upgrade. I'd like to see more people connected to our wastewater facilities to reduce the overall expense of operating those. We certainly have an abundance of extra capacity. I also basically want to focus on improving the quality of life. Now, this past year we opened the Gilpin Manor Elementary School. That's the first new elementary school in Cecil County in over 30 years. We purchased ground for a Chesapeake City school, and we'll start that probably sometime either this year or next year.
You got the new library.
New libraries coming. We have we've put athletic or synthetic turf fields at all the high schools, or 3 of them so far. I want to continue to do that. These things have paid great dividends, and they're well received by the general population. I will continue to work hand in hand with the state of Maryland to see if we cannot make a bigger dent in this opioid epidemic that we're experiencing. This is a dreaded disease, and unfortunately it's still expanding.
Well, I think we can look at your re-election season as a referendum on your vision, because I think you are planning to continue the work you've been doing.
We've done exactly what we said we'd done. I mean, the results have been very satisfactory. I mean, I never expected to have so much done in 30 months. But I have a very good team. They all work very hard. They're all very dedicated, and they put Cecil County first and do the right things for the right reasons.
Dr. Alan McCarthy on Dialogue with Leadership. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to 30 at 6. Coming up in a few weeks is the annual Cecil County Fair. So here to tell us about it is Mark Barczewski. He's the Assistant Secretary on the Cecil County Fair. You're a volunteer with the Fair Board.
Board of Directors, yeah.
Thanks so
How
much.
are you? Thanks for having me.
Well, so first of all, what is your day job?
So I'm a teacher, elementary school teacher. I teach gifted and talented to really K through 5, and mostly 3rd through 5th at Perryville Elementary School. So I've been doing that for 3 years.
Great. Well, welcome.
I've been a teacher longer than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the fair starts on July 19th and runs through the 27th.
Yep. Best 9 days of the summer.
Give us the rundown of the usual stuff that we can look
So we
forward
have
to.
the typical events like our Demolition Derby, bringing back our bus Demolition Derby
Right,
again on the
everyone's
Thursday
favorite.
night, which is a big hit. We have our truck pulls, tractor pulls, rodeo back again. And then we have a couple other new events.
Right, yeah.
If you want me to get into those.
Yes, so you've got the Transformer.
Yeah, so we have this Big B's Transforming Robot Car Show,
Oh.
which I'm still excited to see what that's going to be.
Yeah.
From what I hear, it's some sort
makes
of
me
like literal
uncomfortable.
transformer.
I'm a little nervous that you're looking forward to seeing what it
Yeah,
will be.
well, I'm not in charge of entertainment, so we have other volunteers that do different elements of the fair. So there's some things new for me too, which is always nice.
And something else you mentioned was Victoria's Circus.
Yeah, there's going to be Victoria's Circus. So throughout the fair every day, we have acts that perform every day, and Victoria's Circus and the Transforming Robots are two of those.
Cool.
We also have a Crafter's Corner.
Right.
In the past, we've had a chainsaw carver, and last year we added a glass blower. This year we're adding a blacksmith.
Nice.
And all of the items that they make are going to be available for auction. We have an auction on Wednesday and an auction on Saturday, the last Saturday. So you can purchase these items if you really like them. We also have a raffle if you don't want to spend a lot of money, or you can take a chance on winning one of the items.
Okay. So with the blacksmith, is it you can buy the products but also demonstrations?
Yeah, so they're going to be demonstrating how they do the things, but then also making products that they could actually, that we can auction
Very
off.
cool. I feel like that's a good draw.
Yeah, it is. It's been a good fundraiser. We started it with the chainsaw, like I said, added the glass, and it's been a good thing for us.
How about food?
So food, always great food at the fair. You can get everything from funnel cakes to pit beef and everything in between. Really anything you can imagine is there. You know, a lot of people think the fair stops at the midway, but as you know, you can come into the fairgrounds. There's much more food. There's entertainment. There's the 4-H animals,
Of course.
and the kids, which really is the heart of the fair.
Right.
It's really what we're all about. Is doing it for the kids. So. Really make sure you check out those and check out the projects that the kids have been working really all year to
it's
show
really
off
amazing.
their stuff. Yeah.
So everyone can go on your website to learn all about
Yes.
what they can have to look forward to, and that's Cecil Co.
Cecil
Fair.
County Fair,
Oh, okay.
cecilcountyfair.org, cecilcountyfair.org, and you can purchase advance tickets there. You can purchase advance midway tickets at a discounted rate there. You can get all the schedule and information. You can also get a Cecil County Fair book from any Fair Board member. Has all the information in it. We also have a small trifold calendar that a lot of people get. You can pick them up at the local library. Is a good place to get those, or the extension office.
It's hard to miss them.
And also, we have a pretty active Facebook account, too. If you have any questions or are in need of schedules or books or anything like that, you can write us through the Facebook account, and we'll get back to you right away.
Remind me what it costs to get in as a kid
So-
or an adult.
Yeah, so it's $6 to get in. We did have to raise the price $1 after last year's Rain Fest, which we had 14 inches of rain in 9 days, which is about a quarter of what we normally get in a year here in Cecil County. So that was a big thing, and we're a little tight on money, so we need to make sure we had to raise it $1, but still at $6 for the entertainment you get, for the things that you can get at the Cecil County Fair. It's by far the best deal around.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, where else are you going to see a Transformer?
Exactly, a transforming robot car. You know, you're not going to see that anywhere. So it's still it's the best deal around. It's one of the biggest events in the local area. You would have to go to Timonium or to Delaware State Fair to find anything bigger in terms of a fair, and even beyond fair, just a regular event. It's a huge event, and it's really a time for Cecil County to show off a lot of the great things that it does.
Right.
It's something to be proud of. For sure.
It really is. And I know there's a Kids' Day.
Yes, there is a Children's Day, which is on Monday, I'm pretty sure, and it's actually free admission for children. They get in, and we provide tons of activities that are guided by our 4-H program and our Junior Fair Board. They're actually stuffing bags tonight that are given away to every kid who comes in, full of goodies and fun things. So yeah, definitely try to come out on Children's Day. There's even acts and performances going on too.
Ooh.
So I mean, it's really a great deal to be able to get into the fair for free that day as a child.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to it. Mark Barczewski is the Assistant Secretary on the Cecil County Fair Board. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And now Cecil County in the World 30 at 6 is welcoming Mike Dixon. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Rob.
Scholar, Historical Society, Cecil College, internationally acclaimed fashion plate. Thanks for the tip on the bow tie.
I am pleased to help.
Try to keep up.
Thank you.
Fiscal New Year, you know.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yes, and I see your bow tie there, celebrating.
We're all in the money now.
We're in a roll again for another 10 months.
So, what are you going to talk to us about tonight, Mike?
Well, how about if I ask you a question, since
Sure.
you're always asking me questions? When I say Conowingo to you, Rob, what do you think of? Where is it?
Well, if you go down Route 1, just before you get to the dam, It's right there at the intersection of 222.
Well, you mean where all those gas stations and
The
convenience
bank and-
stores
yeah,
and
yeah.
Banks and stuff?
Royal Farms.
Yeah, but where's the old Conowingo? That's the modern place. The cars zip by and the trucks whirl through on Route 1, you know?
Well, I'm thinking you're going to explain it to us, but I heard it was behind the dam,
Yeah, well,
underwater.
That's pretty good, yeah. Shall we talk about that?
Please.
Okay, so about 2 years ago, you're aware Maryland Public TV did a really highly acclaimed, I think they were very pleased with it, popular program that got very significant recognition about the Conowingo Dam. And so they spent about 9 months here shooting the show, and part of that was us helping them visit the sites. So if you go about a mile north of the dam, down a place called like Mount Zora Road,
Know it well.
where the boat ramp is. Do you know that area?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you stand there, Rob, and you look out in the river, and the sun's going down on one of these warm Chesapeake Bay summers, you're looking out at the old village of Conowingo.
How about that?
There was a village of a couple hundred people that lived there.
That was one of my questions. 100 people lived right there. You go down that hill,
Mm-hmm.
you go up Mount Zora and then down the hill.
Yeah, it was actually, you know, for rural northwestern Cecil County, it was a bustling little village for a lot of reasons. And for generations, something more like 200 people lived in that tiny little village. They had Dr. Reagan, they had everything you would need. And if they didn't have it in town, you know, it came in by the Sears catalog. The railroad would deliver it. And families came and generations came and centuries went by and nobody bothered them.
And then somebody had an idea to put a dam there.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened? The age of electrification arrived. In cities like Philadelphia and Baltimore, Philly in this case in particular, they're growing. They have industrial plants, lots of electricity, lots of things growing, and they need more power. And somebody said, you know what? That's Susquehanna. Looks like the 400 some miles flowing, rapid descent. Why not?
So they dammed it up, and it took a while. When did they start building the dam?
Well, you know, and Rob, it wasn't the first dam in the Susquehanna because as we went into the 20th century, it was the age of electrification. So there are 3 other dams north of there, and you've probably seen them as you get out and ramble about. But this was going to be the largest for the era, and it was started on March 8th, 1926. And boy, did it transform a valley. Think if you'd had the Doc Reagan's post office or store, or his medical practice, and you lived in that little village, and to go to Bel Air or Elkton, you would have thought you were, or Oxford, you would have thought you were seeing the lights of the city. And then all at once, it wasn't going to be anymore. Because see, the company called Susquehanna Electric has bought up all those homes, and they start building the dam on March 8th, 1926. It was a $52 million project, and it went faster than anybody could have ever expected. And finally, on January 3rd, 1928, electricity flowed to Philadelphia. And those homes...
2 years.
2 years. I mean, it was very, very fast, virtually 2 years, yeah. And you know what? One of the papers out of Baltimore commented, they said as they closed up the Susquehanna and that water just kind of rose slowly, people stood in those hills alongside the Conowingo, those steep hills. And think of the feelings they must have had as that water from the dam just slowly backed up. And by the time darkness arrived on that year so long ago, the homes and everything were gone. Wow. And they had to turn away and walk away and start a new life somewhere else. And then today we visit the modern Conowingo as cars zip along and rush to Baltimore or Philadelphia. And we go over that modern powerful hydroelectric plant that's been generating electricity since 1928.
And right upstream, maybe half mile or a mile, is Old Conowingo.
Oh, the old village.
Now, I've heard you could still see it if you like scuba dive down there.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. People do say that. Yeah, but you know, the Exelon, the owner of the utility, has lots of public access, so you can launch your boats there. I'll go up and when people get on these boards and float around in the water, you'll see them out there when there's not such flooding debris and stuff like that. But it totally transformed the whole area. I mean, there were like 5,000 men that came to this little isolated area of a couple hundred people to build the dam. new roads, everything. And boy, come 1928, that new year, the modern age that arrived in northwestern Cecil, northeastern Harford County.
Yep, it did transform things. Now, other than the dam, as acting as a bridge, how did people get across?
Yeah, well, see, that was,
how wide was the river before the dam did
it was
up?
about a mile wide. But see, that was one of the other things that made Conowingo so important. Even though today we think of Route 1, there was something like Route 1 always there. So there was a bridge, and travelers from the late age of stagecoaches to the modern age of the first automobiles, they would come from Baltimore to Philly or Philly to Baltimore, and right across at Old Conowingo, they went across a series of bridges that spanned it. Got to Conowingo, you're probably tired, you need a drink, you stop in the tavern, stop in the hotel,
Right.
rest to go on up to Lancaster or Philadelphia or someplace.
If somebody wanted to find pictures or with the historical society in Elkton, they could go up there and check it out.
Oh yeah, there are a couple of things I'd recommend with that. There's hundreds of photos of the village. Shows the old train station, it shows the Methodist church, the store, all those types of things. The bridges were a big feature because you wanted to buy them and send them to others. So we have hundreds that we are delighted to show you. And check out the Maryland Public TV documentary. It streams at Maryland Public TV.
On the Conowingo Dam.
On the Conowingo Dam. It really was an excellent documentary. One of the things they were delighted with is they were able to find silent movies of the demolition of the old bridge you were asking about. Found it on, I think, eBay.
And you were involved in that project.
Yeah, I was their consultant on that project.
Public TV project.
Yeah.
What's your next project? When's your next public lecture or appearance?
Well, I've got a couple coming up at the library in July, the Cecil County Public Library in July. And for instance, sometime in July, we'll have to check the library website. We're going to be talking about vacation in Cecil. You know, we have all these vacation spots that boomed with the automobile age, from White Crystal Beach and Charlestown and down Elk Neck Way. So the library has asked that I talk to them about what was it like beginning to vacation here when you could leave the heat of Lancaster or Philadelphia or Chester or someplace like that, find the nice cooling waters of the Elk, the Sassafras, the Bohemia, all of our great rivers. So I'll be doing that program in July for them.
Awesome. And it's still the vacation capital of the world anyway, right?
It still is, yes.
Well, every day's a holiday when you're here in the studio, Mike. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rob.
Welcome once again to 30th Cecil County and the world, and I do mean the entire world because everybody knows that Terry Merriman is going to introduce us to somebody who's coming to his house, known all over the world. Terry, welcome to 30th.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And you have an event coming up with a very special person.
Yes, I do.
Tell us about it.
Well, I've been having house concerts and other musical events, open mics, jams, and music workshops and the like. And I've been doing an open mic series over in Delaware, and a gentleman named Vince Martell has come over a couple of times. Now, Vinny is the original and only lead guitarist for the Vanilla Fudge. Yeah. So he's come over to those a couple of times. These parties are at Lois Lipton Parker's place. She's a music promoter from way back. And we'll have people like the lead singer from the Times or the Drifters come by, you know, a lot of other people. But Vinny stopped in a couple of times because he knows her. And we've gotten to know each other, and I asked him, hey, why don't you come down and do a house concert? He said, great, but we're going to have to do it quick because we're about to go out on our 50th anniversary tour. So we said, how about July 13th? So he'll be at my place just up across the border near Oxford. It's going to be July 13th, and we're going to make it kind of a full day of music because we're going to start with an open mic and jam at 3 o'clock. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll have a potluck dinner with Vinny and his wife, Peg Pearl, who's going to be singing with him. She was in the PBS program Love In with Ben Vereen, a musical celebration. You know, so she's quite the talent as well. And then they'll do 2 sets starting at 7 o'clock.
That's awesome. It's the 50th anniversary of Woodstock, putting the astronauts on the moon, and now Vanilla Fudge taking off. I can remember they came to Mount Pleasant High School up in Wilmington, like maybe 68.
Yep. Well, I saw him at King Arthur's Court up in Quakertown way back then. And that was, you're standing right there and he's like, 3 feet away practically. So that was a pretty nice venue.
Now, I think, didn't Carmen Appice play drums with him?
He was a singer.
Oh, I thought he played drums.
I thought he played the organ.
Okay, anyway. You're going to want to see who's with him.
Well, maybe it was both. I don't know. Drummer and
You're going to
singer.
want to see who's with Vinny
Yeah.
at Terry's house. And Terry, we've had you on the show, and you do great songs that you've written yourself. So I know you're involved with the Philadelphia Area Songwriters Alliance.
Right, PASA.
That's other events. So this is just
Yeah.
a special thing for Vanilla Fudge.
Correct. Yep.
Well, I'm sure you'll participate in the open mic, and a lot of other musicians that I've talked to are going up there. I know.
Yep.
I unfortunately have to be somewhere else, but I'll be there in spirit because
Okay.
I know I have fond memories of Vanilla Fudge from back in the day.
Yep. I remember that was one of my signature songs, You Keep Me Hanging On, when I played keyboards in all the rock bands.
Well, keyboards were big back then.
And heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in many ways, and heavy, like 3 people to carry them.
Yep. I never got paid for playing music. I got paid to move furniture.
Yes. So, July 13th, starting at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock's the open mic. 5 o'clock we're going to gather for our dinner. It's a potluck, so if you come, bring a dish to share with everybody. And then Vinny and Peg will start at 7. It's a suggested $20 donation, what you can pay. But
That was my
and,
question.
And all of that goes to Vinny and Peg. I'm just doing it for the fun of it.
So, how do people contact you, Terry, to find out more about this event?
Yeah, they can contact me via my phone or my email address. I think they're going to be putting that up on the screen. My email address is tm, as in my initials, at terrymerriman.com, and that's Terry as in yellow, Merri as in India, man.com.
Good.
So send me an email for a reservation, and we'll send you directions to the place, and then we'll have a little jar there for the donations.
That sounds great, and I love the potluck dinner idea.
Hopefully with good weather, we may do it outside. I'm out on the Big Elk Creek, so we got a beautiful view.
Nice.
And if not, we'll do it in my studio that I have inside.
Sounds great, and we look forward to this successful event and to having you back here on Cecil TV to play some more music and tell us all about it.
I'd love to.
Sounds great.
All right, Rob.
Thanks.
Thanks.